The Chaser Report is recorded on Gadigal land.
Striving for mediocrity in a world of excellence. This is the Chaser Report.
Hello and welcome to the Chaser Report for Thursday the 15th of September. I'm Charles Firth and with me today is Andrew Hansen.
What a pleasure to be here with you, Charles Firth, today.
Yes, it's very pleasurable. If I have to leave the podcast at any point to go to the toilet...
You're still suffering from your LA gastro, are you?
I'm up to, visit number 9.
Oh, my goodness, that's a lot.
Today.
That's a lot of visits.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, especially when you're in LA, it's supposed to be the glamour of Hollywood.
Well, I've been here for 2 weeks, and I've only just discovered, a few minutes ago, that I'm not supposed to be drinking the tap water. Apparently, it's undrinkable in LA.
Well, that could be behind some of the bowel movements you've been experiencing.
I don't know how I missed that warning.
It's pretty major.
No wonder I feel so shit.
Yeah, isn't that?
But isn't that sad that you go to? I mean, it really is like a third world country. You can't even drink the water. It's sort of. Yeah.
Well, you got to get. I thought it was all bottled water in LA anyway. Hasn't it been since 1981? Yes, Nobody's drunk tap water in LA for 40 years.
But this is the thing. People kept on saying, "Oh, you should drink the filtered water." Here, have a fancy bottle. And I just thought everyone was being posh. But actually, no, they're just being hygienic.
They just don't want listeria.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
So, but my one hope is that actually it will be a rapid weight loss scheme and I'll actually return to Australia very lithe.
I was going to say you look fantastic over the Zoom. Yeah. You look absolutely terrific to me. You've shed the pounds, Charles. I'd be drinking that. I'd be selling that tap water. I'd be bringing it back to Australia in bottles and selling it as a health product.
The latest health fad from LA. Yeah. We call it 10 times a day or something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Get moving with 10 times a day from LA.
Okay. Anyway, on the show today, we're going to be talking all things opera. I know our listeners are huge opera fans.
Well, like all Australians, that's our main form of entertainment in this country.
What's going on in the world of opera?
Very dramatic stuff. It's almost like an opera in and of itself, Charles, with high stakes and people singing in pompous, weird voices. Look, we all love an opera, don't we? Everybody, every true blue, salt of the earth Aussie loves an opera.
Yes. Well, meat pie in one hand, glass of Chandon in the other.
That's right. You go to the opera.
Lucia de Lammermoor.
Exactly. That's what we all get.
Lucia.
Oi, oi, oi.
Oi. Yeah.
In the stands, you take those big hands with you to wave. And of course the beer snake, the beer snake that goes around the opera auditorium.
Yeah. Mind you, last time I was at the opera house and they started a Mexican wave, that did not go very well because everyone's 90 years old and it was very, very slow. Watching these cripples try and get up in time.
But you need that, because if you've got to sit through Wagner for 7 hours... Yeah, you need a whole bunch of 90-years troding to do a Mexican wave to take you through to the end. Well, anyway, look, I better get onto the dramas, right? Now, this is an organisation called Opera Australia. They're the main sort of people who make operas in Australia. And
they're the Cricket Australia of opera.
They're the Cricket Australia. Exactly. Yes.
Just to put it
without
into
the
layman's
scandals.
terms. Yeah.
They get, our money.
Do you think that opera singers try and cheat like cricketers cheat? Was the famous sandpaper incident of the ring cycle, wasn't there? Yeah, that's right, exactly.
That was very worrying.
And that was outrageous, wasn't it? I'd never thought that sopranos could be so unethical.
It's just a disgrace. She walks on. Sandpapers off Figaro's shoes and whatever she did.
Clearly trying to hide it.
It was the deceptiveness. I know it was within the rules, but still.
No.
Well, look, anyway, now Opera Australia takes our money, right? They take our taxes. So, as every tradie wants, he hopes that part of his paycheck will go to fund, a new Barbara of Seville production. And their slate for
Turandot?
a Turandot is that's the favourite of Carpenter's.
Yeah.
Anyway, they've announced their slate for next year, and it's caused a bit of a ruckus, Charles. I just wanted to run you through it because I don't know if you're across the opera news.
Oh yeah, no, huge. Well, I just read the Daily Telegraph, so of course I'm across it.
Oh well, it's the lift out. It's got the opera lift out just next to the sport. Well, their slate for next year includes no fewer than 5 operas that are going to be staged in Sydney. Right,
lovely.
But of course, Opera Australia, they're supposed to produce operas all around Australia, right? My question to you is, Charles, how many operas do you think they're making in Melbourne this year?
Well, see, Sydney's got the Sydney Opera House, so I kind of feel like that's probably gonna be prioritised. So, probably if you're gonna break it down, Sydney gets 5. I'd say probably 3 for Melbourne, and then
3
1
for
like Hobart or something. Yeah.
Well, that's not a bad guess because actually, according to the news, like 25 years ago, in a typical year, Opera Australia would make 6 or 7 operas in Melbourne.
Right, yeah, but times are tough.
Well, this year, this year they've slightly reduced that number to 0.
Right.
So they've got 5 operas for Sydney, and no opera.
So what happens
operas in Melbourne.
What happens if you're an out of work opera singer in Melbourne? What do you do this year?
Well, I suppose you'd get a real job, wouldn't you? You'd have to do something else.
But you've been training for 20 years. Haven't you? Like, opera singers train. We had a friend who was an opera singer, didn't we? And
I know.
She she trained for years in Sydney, Australia, and then she went to London, and she did about 5 or 6 years of training.
It was lucky she doesn't live in Melbourne, isn't it? She's not going to be able to put that to use.
The Chaser Report.
Now with extra whispers.
So what do? What do you do?
Well, look, they're just going to have to they're going to have to become footballers instead, or something, that actually happens in Melbourne, I guess.
Yes.
Or maybe
the
try their hand at
People's
stand-up.
Opera.
Bit of stand-up comedy, perhaps.
Well, maybe they could do the halftime entertainment.
Well, they could dress up in a mascot. I mean, I'd like to see more, more of our sort of leading ladies from operas,
Yes.
Either cheerleading, doing sexy cheerleader routines, or just dressing up as a bear or a dog in a fluffy suit.
You know what they could do? Because opera singers are notoriously bad at acting. I don't know whether you've seen many operas, Andrew. But
no. Thankfully not. I haven't.
So they would be perfect to star in Home and Away.
I thought they finished, or was that Neighbours? Or have they both?
It was Neighbours.
I don't know.
No. Home and Away is still going.
Yeah.
What
What about the Masked Singer? I mean, there is reality TV that still exists, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, and people would go, "Oh my goodness, it's my favourite opera singer, the celebrity."
Jaws dropping on all the kids posting on TikTok. Oh, MG, it's. I'm trying to think of an opera singer, but I don't know
an opera singer.
I don't know.
I don't know a single.
I know one, Ally McGregor, the lovely Ally McGregor, a friend, mate of mine, Ally McGregor.
Oh, right.
She could be doing a bit of this.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, there is a reason behind this, though, Charles. The reason behind Melbourne, poor old Melbourne, being slighted by Opera Australia, because I should mention that Brisbane's getting 2 operas.
Really?
5 for Sydney, 2 for Brizzy. But the main reason, what do you think the main reason is that Melbourne has been, shafted?
Is it something to do with, did they accidentally run over a whole lot of opera singers during the Grand Prix?
Oh, that's not a bad guess. It's not a bad guess.
They've run out of...
Yeah, look, I don't think that would happen because opera singers are, they're quite well built.
They've probably built a road. They've built a road through the opera house down there. Is that what's that?
Oh yeah, that's the opera. It's the East-West link. It's gone straight through. Straight through the opera.
It'll be something like that, surely.
Well, no. The reason actually is because the State Theatre in Melbourne is being renovated, and so it's simply not available. But according to this article, this is a little unfortunate. It closes at the beginning of 2024 to be refurbished for 4 or 5 years.
What?
So that's how long there won't be any operas in Melbourne. It's only got one venue. I mean, I thought, well, hang on, couldn't they put it somewhere else?
Yeah.
And they did discuss the idea of putting it in the Regent Theatre in Melbourne, which is where I live. I live in Melbourne, I must say. But it was pointed out that the Regent Theatre's too little to put on an opera. It's not big enough, the stage to fit all those big dresses and things and instruments
and the
elephants
and the chorus. Like there's lots of people in the chorus, but couldn't they just have a slightly smaller opera? Like
apparently not. That is not to be considered, Charles. No, the opera cannot be made smaller.
They would save money as well if they didn't have as many performers.
They're not interested in. No, it's government funding. They don't need to save.
Yeah, right. Okay.
They don't need to.
Yeah, right. Okay. So they're just not going to have any opera for 4 or 5 years.
Well, I'd imagine not. I mean, not unless they can, suddenly build.
This is
an
shocking.
Opera house.
How is this not front page news every day?
It's outrageous. I know this must be front of mind for many seething people.
This is my prediction. This is going to become the election issue that swings the election down.
I think it is. It's up there with the vaccine rollout. It really is.
Dan.
I mean, lives are at stake. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Dictator Dan ruins opera. First he locks us down.
I also don't quite understand if they're closing it in 2024. Why can't they do an opera next year? Because next year's not 2024. Next year's 2023.
There is a reason for that, but it's so boring and complicated. It's buried in the article. I don't think I should even bother mentioning it in the podcast.
Okay.
I think it's something like there's already. There's
as
already
opposed
shows
to the rest
in there.
of this content.
Yeah. They've already got shows in there. Yeah. But the other funny thing about the opera community is fuming. They're fuming because all they've got, Charles, Opera Australia not making any operas. All they've got, the poor old opera lovers in Melbourne, are the many operas that are being made either by Victorian Opera or Melbourne Opera or two other opera companies that also operate in Melbourne.
I didn't realise there was... So there's competing opera leagues.
Yes, there opera is. There's about 4 different organisations in who make operas in Melbourne.
You just wouldn't think there'd be that much demand.
Well, look, part of it's because taxpayers fund Victorian Opera, according to my research in this article, and then there's Melbourne Opera, and it seems to me that the reason they can do it in this article is that almost nobody gets paid.
Oh, right.
So it's one or the other. It's one or the other. Either the hardworking Aussies pay for it to happen, or you do it for free. I mean, this is entertainment in Australia, isn't it? You and I live by these rules as well.
Yeah, you don't get paid for work.
Yeah.
But mind you, presumably the people at Opera Australia who work in Melbourne will just not have to work and get paid for 5 years. Is that how it works?
Well, I guess it is. Yes, that'd be a great job, isn't it? God, I should bloody well apply.
I'm going to apply, for the head of Opera Australia Melbourne branch.
Melbourne operations. Nothing on for the next 5 years. Or $280,000 a year to run absolutely nothing. Just sit in an empty theatre watching.
Mind you, actually, that would be better than most operas. So.
Yeah.
Our gear is from Road, and we're part of the Acast Creator Network. Andrew Hansen, lovely to chat. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. There's a bit of opera for you, free of charge.